Hi, I'm Paul. I've done a couple of videos in the past few weeks about seeking, and they both seem to have got quite a bit of response and interaction, so I thought I would do another video on seeking. Lately I've been getting a few videos pop up on my YouTube which have a title similar to Ancient Scripture with Hidden Knowledge, being hidden from us for thousands of years. Only if you notice a bit of hidden knowledge, I would probably say that's a good thing. You see, in this day and age, we've got endless amounts of knowledge. So much knowledge that we can't make a decision of which one's right or wrong or best or not best. We go from one teacher to another and both say two different things and we don't know which one to choose. If we have a look at AI, one of the common questions for AI is AI conscious? Or can AI become conscious? And yet if we look at the ingredients to AI, it's knowledge, thoughts. The more thoughts we put into AI, then the bigger it gets. So to make AI, we've had to put a huge amount of thought into it. Only when God made us, He didn't make us with thought. We're here with much more than just thought. So if I, let's say, ask a question, or if you was to ask a question yourself, perhaps, why do I seek? And if you was to ask me that question, and I said, I'm not going to tell you, I am not going to give you an answer for that question. And maybe you might say, well, I'll go and find another teacher, someone else who can tell me the answer to why I seek. But if then you're always going to somebody else to try and find an answer to your question, then is that really seeking? Are you really wanting the answer? Or are you just wanting acceptance? You just want somebody to say something so then you feel secure in believing that answer. So if I go back to the question, why do I seek? How should you really try to find the answer to that question? You see, I can give you one answer. Someone else can give you another answer, and somebody else can give you another answer. But then you're still none the wiser. But what if you found the answer yourself? See, when you find the answer yourself in yourself, there's no real need to listen to anybody else with the answer, because you've discovered it yourself. And not only discovered it, because you've actually seen it and experienced it in yourself, you know you're right. So how we do this is, firstly, we ask the question, why do I seek? And then you leave it at that. You see, if you start trying to seek inside of your memories for the answer to that question, all your memories are just knowledge, what you've received off other people. And that knowledge doesn't go into a huge amount of depth. So when somebody tells us an answer, we just listen to it as the words. We might have some shallow understanding, but we don't have a lot of depth to it. Because words themselves are quite limited. If I take just 1 second of this moment here, then I've got lots of colours, shapes, textures, smells, temperatures, my feelings of this moment, my whole experience. And in that 1 second, if I try to turn it into words, then I can't. Just a simple little thing of, I see the colour green. How do you turn that into words? Or should I say my experience of green? So words themselves are very limited. But when we actually look inside of ourselves for an answer, we truly go through experiences that we've had in the past. And we start to get a proper understanding, not just a description. I was speaking to somebody the other day about this sort of talk. And whilst I was trying to show them how to experience more rather than being attached to thought, I asked this person, can you feel the chair against your back? And this is a question I tend to ask a few people. And I've been in this position before. So I was exactly the same. When my therapist said to me, can you feel your back against a chair? Then I was like, well, I don't know, what am I looking for? What do you mean? I couldn't find just the simple feeling of the back against my chair. And I find that many of people are the same. We've all been wrapped up in this seeking for knowledge, running away. But we don't really know how to experience what's really here in the moment. I mean, let's say I finally calm down my thoughts enough just to feel the sensation against my back. And that's only really one sensation, but it is in the present. But if I was to quieten my thoughts enough to accept all sensations, all colours and objects, shapes, feelings inside myself, the true beauty of this moment, life becomes more fuller. Because when we're just chasing thoughts, seeking knowledge, like I say, words are very limited, so our pleasure of words doesn't last very long before we need to go and seek more. If we look at this with the two hemispheres of the brain, which is a lot of the talk what Ian McGilchrist talks about. So we have two hemispheres, which essentially is two brains. They are connected together, but not entirely, so they just pass information to each other. One of them sides of the brain looks outwards, and that side of the brain understands language and can communicate language. And the other side of the brain looks inwards. So the other side of the brain is what looks at this moment in time, looks inwards, looks for feelings, sensations, understands the beauty of the world. And the other side of the brain is always looking out, always focusing on to things. Only trouble is the side of the brain what looks outwards has to fragment everything. It never sees the whole picture. See, if you actually look at yourself when you try to describe something in words, you can't describe the whole thing. So you have to break it down and describe a part of it, then another part. But when you experience this in the right hemisphere of the brain, you experience it as a whole. All your sensations, all your feelings, and you understand it. So when you do ask yourself the question, why do I seek outwards? What you're looking for is the answer of the whole. You can seek knowledge, and perhaps then you might understand, but that takes a long time because you've got to understand every fragmented bit and then be able to put it into a whole. And then when you put it into a whole, you understand it with a felt knowing. But you can also silence the thoughts, ask yourself the question, and just wait. And then you perhaps go through experiences of actually doing it. You feel your way through the times when you was doing your seeking. And hopefully that comes to an answer. Anyway, thanks very much for listening.